Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda,
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda,
Shri Advaita Gadadhara,
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Shri Vasadi Gaura
Srivasadi
Bhakta
Gaura
Vrinda
Hare
Bhaktivinoda,
Krishna Mahamantra ki,
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. So, were you able to chant properly today? Just
Yes,
want to
Prabhu.
hear from all of you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, actually, when I was hearing some speech about chanting, they said not to close the eyes, Prabhuji, because you can go to sleep. And
Yeah.
if you open your eyes wide, everything around you distracts you. So you should
Yes.
have half closed eyes.
Yeah.
Closed, not completely closed because you'll fall asleep, not completely open because you'll be distracted. So like half closed, half open.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise you'll go to sleep.
So that is what I think the yogis do in meditation. They do like that actually. They have half closed eyes. But so that depends on the people actually. If you, for example, if you don't feel go to sleep, feel sleepy, then I think you can close. But if you feel sleepy, then you can do like that, Mataji. Even if you have half also, you will still see things. That's the problem. Yeah. So basically, so some everybody will have little bit, no, kind of their own ways. They can find what is actually best suits them. So yeah. So that what is actually advised for devotees is that actually every day night we should eat very lightly. Okay. If you eat more, then no, our sleep will be disturbed. We'll have to sleep more. So devotees like no who want to are serious in devotional service, they actually take very light food in the night, like fruits, milk, etc. And so that no, it is mentioned that then you will have a very nice sleep. Whatever sleep, how many hours ever you sleep, you will have a nice sleep, no refreshing sleep, so that you can get up in the morning. And then if you have a good refreshing sleep, then you should not feel sleepy. But if you are not sleeping properly, then I think you will not be able to chant naturally. You will feel sleepy when you start chanting. So everything is kind of interdependent actually. So we should have proper rest so that we don't feel sleepy. Yes, Mataji. Chetan Prabhu, any comments? Did you chant with us?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji, I just now came from outside,
Okay.
like a while back.
Okay. You missed some important parts then.
No, Prabhuji, I have listened it. Only the chanting I didn't do.
Okay. That is the most important thing, no, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Sushil Prabhu, any comments? Want to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji, I chanted with you. Yeah, so I had association with you now,
Yeah.
and I feel that yeah, chanting in group is more is more powerful actually. Yeah,
Yes, my Prabhu.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
whatever is suitable, we can do, Prabhu. See, it's all practical actually. So now it is not. See, ideally we should chant in the early morning, which is actually considered as no the mode of goodness. Till morning time is considered in the mode of goodness. Afternoon is considered in the mode of passion, and evening is considered a mode of ignorance. So so I know we should try to chant morning time. We should chant properly. Sitting in a secluded place without distraction and try to chant properly. Then I think if we practice, I think we can improve like that. Yeah, association chanting in with devotees is very good actually, but sometimes no, it may not work for all people. Like once in a while you should chant with some devotees, but sometimes when we chant with other devotees, we may get also distracted actually. Why they are chanting? Maybe it's a different speed or different way. So those kind of things. But whenever we get opportunity to chant with pure devotees, like sannyasis, or senior, or anybody like any devotees, we should spend some time with them actually. That because of the association, we can improve a lot actually. But yeah, but also we should chant, in the morning separately also. That will be also good. Okay, Shravani Mataji, you want to say something? Madhavi Mataji, who is one more guest? Somebody is logged in as guest now. I don't know who it is. Can
One is my number.
you are only okay? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay, Mataji. So you want to share anything, Mataji? Anybody? Or any questions on chanting?
No, Prabhuji, everything is clear.
Okay.
The problem is after knowing everything, not
Hmm.
able to follow to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That is
That is the falling under offense only.
no, that's what I told in the beginning. Sometimes it takes you, for example, I mean, I am also still learning to chant, even though I've been chanting for like maybe I don't know how many years. Maybe I think 14 years, 15 years, maybe I started chanting, but still, no, still I'm not able to chant properly. Okay, so it is not easy. So sometimes if you have already done all the devotional activity in your previous life, then you may be able to chant very nicely from beginning. But most of the devotees, it take very long time, 20 years, 30 years it can take to become perfect in chanting. So it is so that doesn't mean that we should be very careless or lazy. We should put our best endeavor to try to chant. Like try to create a situation where favorable environment where we can chant. That then half of the thing is done. See, if you have a dedicated time for chanting, that let's say whatever 1 hour or half an hour, it completely dedicated and without any distraction, that itself will help 70% of to chant nicely. Then the rest of the things is mind actually. Once you start chanting, the mind will start wandering here and there. So, by praying to, so whatever the prayers are there, right, Panchatattva mantra, and then always being aware, actually, the mind is wandering and trying to bring it back again and again. I think gradually we'll be able to, improve our chanting. Yeah, that is actually a problem. So even if just knowing actually will not solve everything, right? We'll have to practice it. We have to go through the process. It will take time. But I think we should seriously and very sincerely endeavor. Put all our, give it the highest priority. Chanting is the most important thing. Like that, we should think. Whatever happened, I will give this much time to chanting. That we should put out from our side endeavor.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji. Sometimes we are able to concentrate fully, but sometimes it's taking so much time to get concentrate on that.
Yeah, Mataji. So that's what do you chant in the morning? That's one question. And then do you have a dedicated time for chanting? These two questions will help actually a lot. Chanting in the morning is best actually, because see, after some time, like so many distractions will come when you wake up in the morning, when others have not woken up, like let's say other people are not devotees in the house, and then they are not woken up, then I think that is a best time to chant. Because even if they're devotees also, we will talk to each other, like different things we'll start discussing. So best time is like when you're alone, that at that time nobody can steal from you, like that is very important. So that is the first thing, so that at least the external distractions are taken care. Then the mind mind will distract you, mind will create problem, it will not listen to you, it will try to run around. So that actually is very difficult to solve. That actually only by practice, and then by praying for the mercy, only we can actually achieve control the mind. Controlling the mind is very difficult. It will take very long time, because Arjuna has told Krishna that Chanjalam hi mana, no, yeah, Chanjalam hi mana Krishna pramadi balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayu river sudushkaram. That so Arjuna says that Chanjalam hi mana Krishna, right? This mind is very Chanjala, it's very wavery, it's always like a monkey jumping here and there. Chanjalam hi mana Krishna pramadi balavadridam. So what are the qualities of mind is pramadi, it's like mad actually. Balavad, very strong, and then very obstinate. So these are the nature of the mind. Pramadi balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayu riva sudushkaram. He's saying that I may be able to control a raging wind, a storm or something. An extremely strong wind is coming. I may be able to control that wind, but I can't control my mind. Actually, that's what Arjuna is saying. And Arjuna is one of the person who is who's having very highest level of self control, right? And he's saying this means what is our position, right? But then that is not an excuse actually. Okay, okay, because of that, no, there's no point in trying. No, let this. No, we should try our continuously endeavor and pray for the Lord. So depend on Krishna, right? And also pray to spiritual master, depending on the Guru, depending on Krishna, because ourselves it is not possible. So we have to depend on the mercy of the Lord, right? Like that, we have to continuously endeavor for it. Then I think gradually, we will come to a stage. Gradually, we'll improve our chanting. Okay. Anybody? Any more questions? Good. Then I think we'll go to the today's topic. Yeah. So anybody remembers what we discussed last week?
Prabhupada Asharya Prabhu.
Yeah. We saw 2 videos about Prabhupada, right? Acharya part 1 and part 2. Okay. Anybody saw the rest of the series? Who else saw the rest of the series? Nobody has seen it, the remaining part?
Prabhuji.
Okay, Chitra Mataji.
No, Prabhuji.
So then, Sushil Prabhu, anybody? So I think I assume nobody has seen it. Rest of the things. So we're too busy, or what is it? Okay, so yes, Mataji.
We have a lot of reading material coming to us on our on online, Prabhuji. Lot of material. Mataji keeps on sending us. Someone keeps sending, so we keep reading that. That's enough for the whole day. There's a lot of reading to do, Prabhuji, online.
Yes. So when you're bored of reading, you can see some video, right? It's like a change. After you read for a long time, but little bit you can see some video. That will be anyway. So you can see it later, no problem. I think they are very instructive actually. A lot of information we can understand more about Prabhupada, because this level is called Prabhupada Ashraya, right? So we have to really understand who is our spiritual master, who is Srila Prabhupada, what is his position. This is very important to understand actually, because before we surrender to somebody, right, we should also understand what are the glories, what are the position, right? So that from that perspective, it's very important. So please, whenever you get time, you go through it actually. Okay. It's all short videos, no, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes videos only. So one video, it won't take much time. Okay. Anybody has any questions about the last session? Otherwise we will go to the today's session. Okay, so let us go on then today's session. So the topic is disciplic succession. Okay, so as usual, no, we will read the purport. Read the topic, and as we read, devotees can make a note of the important points if you have their questions, and then we can discuss those points in the end. Okay, so who would like to start?
Shall I start, Prabhuji?
Yeah, two people told. Anybody, one of you can start.
Please carry on, Mataji.
Mataji, you carry on. I'll say afterwards.
Okay, Mataji. Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Disciplic succession. Evam parampara praptam imam rajasyu viduhu sakalenaha mahata yogo nashtaha parantapa. Prabhuji, can you please read it again, please, Prabhuji?
Yeah. Evam parambara praptam. You can read after me. All of you, please repeat. Evam parambara praptam.
Evam parampara praptam.
Imam rajarshayo vidu.
Imam rajarshayo vidu.
Sakale neha mahata.
Sakalenaha mahata.
Yogo nashta parantapa.
Yogo nashta parantapa.
Evam parambara praptam.
Evam parampara praptam.
Imam rajarshayo vidu.
Imam rajarshayo
vidu.
Sakale neha mahata.
Sakalenaha mahata.
Yogo nashta parantapa.
Yogo nashta parantapa.
Evam parambara praptam.
Evam parampara praptam.
Imam rajarshayo vidu.
Imam rajarshayo vidu.
Sakale neha mahata.
Sakalenaha mahata.
Yogo nashta parantapa.
Yogo nashta parantapa.
Yes, Mataji, you can continue.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Bhagavad Gita 4.2 Translation. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. Purport. It is clearly stated that the Gita was especially meant for the saintly kings because they were to execute its purpose in ruling over the citizens. Certainly, Bhagavad Gita was never meant for the demonic persons who would dissipate its value for one for no one's benefit and would devise all types of interpretations according to personal whims. As soon as the original purpose was scattered by the motives of the unscrupulous commentators, there arose the need to re-establish the disciplic succession. 5,000 years ago, it was detected by the Lord himself that the disciplic succession was broken, and therefore he declared that the purpose of the Gita appeared to be lost. In the same way, at the present moment also, there are so many editions in the Gita, especially in English, but almost all of them are not according to the authorized disciplic succession. There are innumerable interpretations rendered by different mundane scholars, but almost all of them do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Although they make a good business on the words of Sri Krishna, this spirit is demonic because demons do not believe in God but simply enjoy the property of the Supreme. Since there is a great need of an edition of the Gita in English as it is received by the Parampara disciplic succession, there is a great need of the Prabhuji, disciplic succession system. An attempt is made herewith to fulfill this great want. Bhagavad Gita, accepted as it is a great boon to humanity. But if it is accepted as a treatise of philosophical speculations, it is simply a waste of time. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, Chitra Mataji.
Prabhuji, 1 minute. Yes. I don't know how to say it, but I'll try. Sa
Yeah,
evayam maya te dya yoga prokta puratana bhaktosi me shaka cheti rahasyam ye ted uttamam. Bhagavad Gita 4.3. Prabhuji, will say it again?
Yeah, we'll read it together. Sa evayam maya te dya yoga prokta puradana
Yoga
Yoga
Prokta
Pradana
bhakto sime saga cheti
Bhakto Si Me
Tosi Me
Sakacheti
Sakacheti
rahasyam hi edaduttamam.
Rahasyam He
Rahasyam
Tadattatam
He Taduttamam
Sa evayam maya te adya
Sa Evayam
Saevayam
Maya
Maya
Tedya
Teyadya
yogo prokta puradana
Yoga
Yoga
Prokta Pratana
Puratanaha
bhakto sime saga cheti
Bhakto
Bhakto Si
Sime
Me
Sakacheti
Sakacheti
rahasyam hi edaduttamam.
Rahasyam
Rahasyam
He
He Taduttamam
Tadattama
Sa evayam maya te adya
Saevaya
Saevayam Maya
Teyadya
Tedya
yoga prokta puradana
Yoga Prokta Puratana
bhakto sime saga cheti
Bhakto Si Me Sakacheti
rahasyam hi edaduttamam.
Rahasyam He Taduttamam.
Yes, you can continue.
Translation: that very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Purport: there are two classes of men, namely the devotee and the demon. The Lord selected Arjuna as the recipient of this great science owing to his being a devotee of the Lord. But for the demon, it is not possible to understand this great mysterious science. There are a number of editions of this great book of knowledge. Some of them have commentaries by the devotees, and some of them have commentaries by the demons. Commentation by the devotees is real, whereas that of the demons is useless. Arjuna accepts Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and any commentary on the Gita following in the footsteps of Arjuna is real, devotional service to the cause of this great science. The demonic, however, do not accept Lord Krishna as he is. Instead, they concoct something about Krishna and mislead general readers from the path of Krishna's instructions. Here is a warning about such misleading paths. One should try to follow the disciplic succession from Arjuna and thus be benefited by this great science of Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Madhavi. So basically, this is a no, the list of this is a disciplic succession, the parampara of our Brahma Madhava Gaudiya parampara. Okay. Is there some other program? No.
Yes,
Skype call is.
Yes, Prabhuji. From 6 o'clock, they are having some other program. Miseries. Why we are suffering the miseries of the world or something like that.
Gaurav Prabhuji's Prabhuji.
Oh, this is the essence, the Gita essence, right?
Yeah, I don't know,
Okay.
Prabhuji. 6 to 7.
Yeah, that is for new people, I think. The fresh people, no, they have done a Bhagavad Gita outreach, right?
Yeah. My Prabhuji is joining that call, and
Yeah. Even you're also.
No, I logged in with my mobile.
Yes, Mataji. Chitra Mataji, you were saying.
No, Prabhuji, you want me to read these names?
Yeah, there's no harm. You can read.
Wow. That is, one should try to follow the disciplic succession from Arjuna and thus be benefited by this great science of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. 1. Krishna, 2. Brahma, 3. Narada, 4. Vyasa, 5. Madhva, 6. Padmanabha, 7. Narhari, 8. Madhava, 9. Akshobhya, 10. Jayatirtha, 11th Jnana Sindhu, 12. Dayanidhi, 13. Vidyanidhi, 14. Rajendra, 15. Jaya Dharma, 16. Purushatama, 17. Brahmanya Tirtha, 18. Vyasa Tirtha, 19. Lakshmipati, 20. Madhavendra Puri, 21. Ishwar Puri, Nityananda Advaita, 22. Lord Chaitanya, 23. Rupa, that is Swarupa Santana, 24. Sanatana, 24. Raghunatha Jiva, 25. Krishna Dasa, 26. Narottama, 27. Vishwanatha, 28. Baldeva Jagannatha, 29. Bhakti Vinoda, 30. Gaura Kishora, 31. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, 32. A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Thank you, Mataji, for reading.
32.
Yeah, so this is not exactly strictly a chronology that way, because from Krishna to 5,000 years, I think these more generations will be there. Okay. Yeah. So if you ask me who all are this, and I don't know all of them. Okay, but briefly I can tell you. We'll discuss that actually. Okay. So what is more important for us, no, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So if you see, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, right? That all of us know. We should understand and accept that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. Only if you do that, then only we can get the mercy of our parampara. Okay, this Hare Krishna mantra. Actually, if it can give you the topmost benefit, then actually we should have faith in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Krishna, right? So from then, if you just accept that, then I think we are directly in that parampara. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Then after that, everything is perfect actually. Okay, so before that, actually, so Narada, Vyasa, between Vyasa and Madhava, right? Actually, there's a gap. Okay, because if you really look, so Vyasdeva and Narada, no, they were appearing like Narada is actually eternal, and Lord Brahmaji, everybody knows, like he's very old actually, 311 trillion years, and Krishna is eternal. So Madhvacharya, he actually went to Badrikashram, right? It's mentioned that Vyasdeva is still there. Okay, and he actually get instruction from Vyasdeva, so like that actually. So Madhvacharya appeared not very very long ago actually. Maybe 1,000 years. I don't remember exactly, or less than that. So then after that, the parampara is continuing like that. Okay. So yeah. So nevertheless, actually, it's a bona fide and it's a direct disciplic succession, which is coming from Lord Brahmaji. Okay, because of Brahma, it's coming from Brahma. It is called Brahma Sampradaya, Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Parampara, right? So Brahma Madhava Gaudiya is one branch of Brahma Madhava Sampradaya, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took initiation from Ishwarapuri, right? Actually, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, then we can understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation from Ishwarapuri, whose spiritual master was Madhendra Puri, and it is coming from like that, from Madhvacharya Sampradaya. So this is our parampara actually, right? And then it is a unbroken disciplic succession. Okay, so I already explained this. Any questions in this part? So normally in altar we keep photo from Jagannath Das Babaji onwards. Jagannath Das Babaji is there, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then Gaur Kishore, then Bhaktivedanta Saraswati and Prabhupada. Right. So these are the photos we normally keep in the altar. And yeah, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu we keep because as part of we are worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly, right? That's why we keep. Any questions, devotees, here in the parampara? Okay, then I think we can discuss. So hope all of you have made some points. Anybody has a question?
Prabhuji, this 23 is Rupa means Rupa Goswami, or it's different?
Yeah. No, it's Rupa Goswami only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rupa Goswami, then Raghunath Das Goswami. Yeah, so it is mentioned, there are three brothers, Rupa Goswami, Swarupa, and Sanatana. So all of them are disciples of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is why other two are put in comma. And similarly, Rupa Goswami's disciples are Raghunath Das Goswami and Jiva Goswami. So they are put both actually like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyways, so let us discuss then the point today. Yeah. So what are the points, devotees, you have noted?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mantaji.
Prabhuji, from the first para, it is clearly mentioned that this was received through the chain of disciplic successions for the kings to rule over the citizens the way they are supposed to execute, and it was broken in the due course, and it was also what to say, Prabhuji, detected by Lord himself in the Lord has mentioned in the earlier thing itself. It will be the chain will be broken in apart, and whatever the knowledge received will be lost in between.
Yes.
And a proper disciplic successions authorized version of Gita is what we are supposed to go through. There are many what to say, Prabhuji, interpretations of Gitas is available in the market, but those people do it for their material benefit, financial aspect, and they don't exactly put across what is to be translated, what is given by Lord. And it is told that those people are told to be demonic people.
Yes. Why they are called demonic?
Because
Anybody
they
knows?
don't, they have not, they do it for their own benefit. They don't give the way the God has put it across, no, Prabhuji. And one thing, and they are not from the disciplic succession, the parampara.
Yes. So the Prabhupada is very strong here, actually, in his words. So some people who are new, they may not like the way in which it's expressed, but the fact is a fact. So I think we have to understand it in more detail. Why actually? So yeah, other devotees, anybody has more points or or add something more to what Mataji told in the first paragraph? Everything is clear. Any questions or any points which is missed out?
Prabhuji, Mataji has covered all the points, Prabhuji.
Okay. So any questions or any comments on any of the parts?
Prabhuji, I have one question, Prabhuji.
Yes, Manas, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, that why the discipline structure was actually got broken? Like,
So disciple association is broken over the period of time.
yes, Prabhuji, why it was broken?
That is a very difficult question. Anybody wants to try the answer for that? Shaitan Prabhu's question: why disciple association is broken?
Maybe due to Kali's prabhav. I mean, Kali
Yeah.
Yuga's prabhav.
Yes.
Prabhuji, maybe they were not pure devotees and they were doing something else besides, carrying down the words of Krishna himself. Because of their misinterpretations, because of some apradhas. So that must have got broken. I'm thinking like that, Prabhuji. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, that is true. over the period actually, yes, whatever, like maybe because of Kali Yuga, every time, like there are different disturbances which are creating in the material world, right? We see that, like demon. So there are two kinds of people, like demoniac people and devatas. So they are there actually. So so time and again there are disturbances which are created. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamyaham. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani. So whenever there is a decline in religious principle, so this is what Krishna mentioned. So why there is a decline in religious principles? That actually is a difficult question to answer, because see, everything that is happening is the Lord's desire. Like these questions are difficult to answer. If you ask why there is Kali Yuga, like let there be only Satya Yuga all the time. Let there be not a Dwapara or no Kali. Why there is Kali Yuga? Means that question were difficult to answer actually, because we can only say that it's just the Lord's Leela. Like Lord actually desires to, he has a plan, big plan, in the material world how things has to be conducted, and accordingly there are there are two kinds of people. Otherwise, Lord could have just created only Devatas. Demons are not required, and everything can be peaceful. So these are some questions which actually it will be really difficult to really give a logical answer to that. So same way, by the Lord's plan, things are happening, and then the disciplic succession is broken over the period of time. In Kali Yuga, as Prabhuji told, like because it's an age of quarrel and hypocrisy, naturally things will deteriorate. It is mentioned in Bhavishya Purana, how things will deteriorate in Kali Yuga. So yeah, so maybe it is possible that because of advent of Kali, everything actually is polluted and contaminated, and then there will be quarrel everywhere, right? And people will try to fight with each other. So because of actually, even in the previous yugas also, there were times when actually there were no false sannyasis and apasampradayas. It was happening in the previous yugas also. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are some instances which are mentioned like that. Like even in time of what is actually Rishabdev, right? Rishabdev actually is the Lord's incarnation, which has happened in a previous yuga. At that time also, some of the people, he tried to imitate Rishabdev. Rishabdev was actually a what do you call Avaduda. Avaduda is a person who completely neglects the material rules and regulations and social customs. Like they are actually Avaduda. Avaduda he'll roam around naked actually, everywhere. They will completely disregard, and whenever something comes to them automatically, they will actually, like food and all, they won't work or anything. When it naturally comes to them, they will take food, otherwise they will remain. So by seeing them, some people of it is mentioned the king of South India, right? The king of Kona, some what is it, Konkan? Forgot actually. Basically Karnataka area. One of the king actually he tried to imitate, and he created a false sampradaya, and that is what actually is mentioned as Jainism. Jainism is Jain sampradaya. Is actually a kind of a concordant religion, actually, is what is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So like that, many apasampradayas started following, cropping up. So to multiple ways of answering. One, we can say that because of the age, it might have deteriorated, but we can just say that it is Lord's plan actually. It's the will of Krishna that this thing is happened. Otherwise, actually, we'll have to scrutinize the different sampradayas, and each sampradaya may have a particular technical reason why actually it deteriorated. But actually, that I don't have information, Prabhu.
Prabhu, different interpretations, Prabhuji?
Yeah, multiple reasons, Mataji. So maybe when Krishna is saying that disciplic succession is broken, then we will have to see each and every disciplic succession which is broken. Now, if you really want a particular answer, then for example, one sampradaya, it might have broken for a particular reason. Maybe one of the acharya might have, as you mentioned, right, committed. He might have fallen down, or they might have fought with each other, and something might have happened. They might have diluted actually. So like that. So each and every sampradaya we will have to separately analyze to see why that particular sampradaya was lost. In that particular sampradaya, why the chain broke in each and everything. So that information right now we don't have. I mean, it will be available somewhere, but we don't have that information. Prabhupada has not mentioned, like for example, why this particular sampradaya is broken like that. Chetan Prabhu, like I don't have a direct answer, Prabhu, for your question.
Yes, Prabhuji. It's okay, Prabhuji. But Kali Yuga, Bhagavad Gita was spoken in Kali Yuga, Prabhuji, or before Kali Yuga?
It is spoken at the end of Dwapara Yuga. So the Kurukshetra battle was after when the Lord Krishna disappeared after his pastime, then after that only Kali Yuga started. After some time, Kali Yuga started actually. So till that time it was Dwapara Yuga.
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So time and again, the Lord actually comes. It is mentioned, like in the same chapter, Krishna says that Imam Vivaswadam Yogam Proktavan aham avyayam, right? That he says that this particular knowledge I had spoken to sun god Vivaswan. So that was millions of years ago. So the Lord actually, so that means that at that time also it was broken. So no, it is not just in Kali Yuga. Like different times, no, the scriptural information is always there is actually in the material world there is always turmoil. No, the material world by design is a place of, that is why we call it, no, it is a Dukale, Mashashadam and all those things, right? So here there is constant flux. Problem will always be there. No, demoniac and no, the what do you call Devada. So it is actually from the beginning it is like that actually. So always there will be kind of disturbance in this material world. That is the nature of material world. So that is a given thing. So the Krishna is saying that, no, this particular knowledge I had given to sun god. Vivaswan time is like so many millions of years ago. So and then no, then he told that from Vivaswan, no, like what Ikshwaku get given to Manu. That was the original sampradaya that is broken. Somewhere it is that sampradaya is broken actually. So now because of that again I am giving this knowledge to Arjuna. Yeah. So the main point what we have to understand is that the knowledge has to be acquired through a bona fide parampara, right? Authorized parampara. Otherwise, the danger is that no, it will be adulterated, and it will be misinterpreted, and no, you will not get a proper benefit. Okay, unless so, if the original message of the Lord actually is preserved, then actually, and if you follow that particular system, then actually you will get the benefit of that particular whatever message the Lord has given. But if the message has been changed or adulterated, no, and watered down or whatever, it varies with different interpretations if it is given, and if you try to follow that particular version, then you will not get any benefit because the message is lost. It is not a proper message there. You will be completely misled. So why Prabhupada is very much strong, he always use this word like demons and rascals and things like that. It is because we have to understand that it is because these people are actually really cheating the people, public, right? This is one of the 4 defects of the living entity, right? So they think that they are scholars, they understood Bhagavad Gita, and then they try to interpret it in their own way. And by doing that, and people who read this Bhagavad Gita, they are actually completely misled. They cannot reach the perfection. So when the people who are very sincere, and innocent people who actually are seeking for the real knowledge, they are actually being cheated and misled by giving wrong interpretations of Bhagavad Gita. So that is why Prabhupada used very strong words actually. He say rascals. Even scientists also is called rascals because scientists also, they claim to know everything. They say whatever they say, they put it in an authentic way, but they have to keep on changing their understanding every now and then, right? And then people think that there is no God because the scientists create an environment that people lose faith in the Supreme Lord. That is why he is very strong against scientists actually. So like that Prabhupada, so we should not understand it in wrong way. We should not think that why Prabhupada is using this way, because it is a fact actually. The damage is not very, it's very serious damage which is being done by misinterpreting Bhagavad Gita, right? So many versions are there. People try to tell their own way, and what is think about the people who are following those versions of Bhagavad Gita. What is their destination? So that is why it is very important to understand Bhagavad Gita to the proper disciplic succession. And also in Padma Purana it is mentioned that if you chant a mantra, right, unless and until you receive the mantra in a proper disciplic succession, that mantra doesn't have much value. It cannot give you the complete benefit of the mantra. Okay, because the holy names of Krishna are potent, powerful by itself. Anybody chants the holy name, definitely they will be benefited. But if you want to get the complete benefit, if you want to attain perfection by chanting the holy name, and if you want to go back to spiritual world, that complete perfection is only possible if the mantra is received in an authorized parampara. So that is very important actually. We should not just think that anything is okay, any mantra I can chant, and it doesn't matter and things like that. It is not correct actually. We have seen that, this shloka we have seen it earlier, I think. Yeah, so I don't know which one to see. Let us see this. In Padma Purana it is mentioned, this particular shloka. Sambradaya Venaye Mantrastu Nishpala Mata. Another many things are there. And also it is talking about the 4 Sambradayas. Adakkalau Bhavishyanti Chatvara Sambradaya Sri Brahma Rudra Shanga Vaishnava Shri Bhavana Chatvadaste Kalau Bhavya Hi Utkale Purushottamad Ramanujam Sri Svichakare Madhavacharyam Chaturmugaha Sri Vishnu Swaminam Rudro Nimbadityam Chadushaha. Actually, I'm not able to see properly because we're not taken the specs. Okay. Any mantra that does not come in disciplic succession is considered to be useless. Therefore, 4 divine individuals will appear in the age of Kali, found disciplic schools. The founders of these 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas are Lakshmi, Brahma, Rudra, and Sanagarishi, and their teachings will spread from Purushottama Kshetra, Jagannath Puri. Ramanuja was chosen by the goddess Lakshmi to represent her Sampradaya. Madhacharya was chosen by the 4-headed Brahma. Vishnu Swami was chosen by Rudra, and Nimbaditya was chosen by the 4 Kumaras. It's mentioned in Padma Purana, this particular sloka. Okay, anybody has any questions in this part? So the question will ask, no, so then should I chant? Should I not chant till I get initiated? That question may come. No, actually, we should chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. No, anybody can chant as such. Okay, there is no harm. It is the yuga. It is the mantra for this Kali Yuga. Okay, but at some point of time, right, we actually should take initiation from from a authorized spiritual master. Then only actually we get a complete benefit of chanting the holy name. When you chant the Hare Krishna mantra without initiation, our sinful reactions are getting burned. It will reduce actually gradually. It will destroy our sinful reactions. But to become completely perfect, to get in the Shuddha chanting, pure chanting of the holy name, and to get Krishna Prema, we have to actually get connected to the Parampara of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, that connection will happen only through Diksha, initiation by a spiritual master. When the spiritual master is initiating the disciple, it is told that all the karma, right, all his previous karma, everything is actually destroyed. And the spiritual master takes the responsibility to take this particular soul back to Krishna. Right, only by their power and by the power of the other acharyas, it is only possible for us to go back to the spiritual world. Otherwise, it is very difficult. But we should chant. We should chant the holy names so that we become more and more purified. But and some point of time when we become completely faith, our faith is strong in the sampradaya, in the holy names, and in the spiritual master. Then actually we should take diksha. Right, that is the process which is mentioned. Any question, devotees?
Prabhuji,
Yes,
when is this disciplic succession got re-established? It is that the least like from Krishna, whatever it will start, right? Is that one, or in between, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever from there it got re-established?
So Krishna, when he's talking in Bhagavad Gita, he's talking from his time onwards. From when Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita, from that time he's re-establishing it.
Okay.
In that context, yes, Mataji.
Means it is re-establishing from there, means it is already there before also. We don't know that.
It is there, yes. He's re-establishing it actually at that time. Paramparas are there, Mataji. So this is in Padma Purana, it is mentioned in the Kali Yuga, these 4 paramparas are there. But previously there were paramparas actually. There was many acharyas. It was there actually, but we may not have much information. So we have only very limited information, Mataji. So the Kali Yuga is 5,000 years now, right? The previous Yuga, right, Dwapara Yuga, we know about Lord Krishna, and his pastimes, etc., which has happened in Dwapara Yuga.
Yes.
But we don't have everything, right? All information we don't have. For example, in his time, there are munis, Garga Muni, like Sandhimani Muni, and many other munis, acharyas are there actually. So like that actually. So in the but we don't have all the information, like what are all the paramparas, those kind of information we don't have. So this entire Vedic timescale is like unimaginable, right? All that we know is mostly about Kali Yuga. Then I know a little bit about Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga. We know some past times, some histories about that. This is only one of the yugas, right? One cycle Mahayuga, these 4 yugas. But these yugas are 1,000 times repeats. Then it is one day of Brahma. This is one day of Brahma is called a kalpa. There are different names for kalpa, but we have very, very less information about the previous cycles of the yugas, right? What to speak of the previous day of Brahma, we don't have like almost nothing, very less information. The time scale is unimaginable, but Vedas is talking about that. This is how it is. But most of the incidences may be happening from the recent Chatra Yuga and things like that. Like that, Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody else, other devotees, any questions? Everything is clear or nothing is clear?
And one more thing, like confusing is, in the demons here it is mentioned like they don't believe in God. Yeah, that is true. But they simply enjoy the property of Supreme. Without Supreme Lord, it is not possible to enjoy even for demons, right?
Yes, Mandaji.
Everyone are enjoying. Yeah, agree. But without His will and power, we are not allowed to enjoy also. Right.
Yeah, that is true, Mataji. So the will of the Lord actually is is happening in different ways that we have discussed earlier once. That see, the people who are in the material world, right? The material world is automatically working without the Lord's direct supervision. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Swayarena Sarajaram, right? So there are two different aspects. See, many of the aspects of the Lord are no are actually appears to be contradictory. No, but actually, if you go deeper, no, many things he says like that. No, I am everywhere, but no, I am not
Mm.
not actually directly here. Like that he says, no, Maya dadam idam sarvam jagadabhyakta murtina. Matsani sarva budani, like that he says actually. So basically he says, I am within everything, but I am also without, like that he says. So the point here is that how things are working in the material world, it is indirectly working, by the Lord's energies. Like Lord has, like internal energy, which is a spiritual energy, external energy, which is the material energy. The Lord's material energy, who actually in the form of Durga, right? Durga Devi, she actually is actually conducting the material world. So the material world is like just like a factory, fully automated factory. The owner of the factory doesn't have to go every day and operate the machinery. It will automatically work. Already the rules are set, everything is set in place, and then people are there. No, so it is running automatically. But at the same time, no, he may be able to know what is happening through his agents or who are there, right? There are people and managers, etc., through which he can come to know. But how thing is the proprietor of the company doesn't every day go and does micromanagement. He'll not see that which person has got salary, which person did not get salary, etc., right? So similarly in the material world, it is actually the Lord is present everywhere, because in his form of Paramatma he has actually expanded and entered even every atom. That way he is all cognizant, but he doesn't interfere in the material world activities. So based on the karma of living entity, somebody has acquired a lot of pious karma, he will be able to enjoy based on his past karma, right? And somebody who is actually suffering, who has done sinful activity, he will suffer based on his past karma. So in this action reaction of karma, the Lord doesn't interfere, right? It actually just happened because of the already set in rules.
Yeah, yeah.
Only when the living entity surrenders to the Lord, he takes shelter of the Lord, then only for those people, those living entities, Krishna will take control of the life, and then they will remove. He can completely destroy all the sinful reactions, right? So these are the two aspects which are happening simultaneously. So with respect to this, no, this way we have to understand this effect, Mataji.
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
Prabhuji, here the word demon means non-devotees, no?
Yeah. Demon actually means, yeah, it can mean multiple
Here
things. Yeah.
in this in relation to
Yes.
this topic,
Yes.
devotee and the demon,
Correct. Yeah.
because the devotee can understand the Gita, and the non-devotees will not understand. So here
Yes.
it is refers, demon refers to non-devotees, no, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Originally also, like Devada and Danava, right? That means that Devadas are actually devotees of the Lord, and Danavas or Asuras, right? Sura and Asura. Suras are devotees of the Lord Vishnu, and Asuras are non-devotees of the Vishnu. Right? Whoever doesn't abide to the authority of Supreme Lord, they are called Asura. So like that,
And
that is original
this
meaning also. Yes.
bogus gurus fall under this demonic nature, Prabhuji.
That's what a Prabhupada is calling here. Actually, in this
Yeah,
context,
yeah.
like he'll calling them as demoniac.
Demon. Yeah.
See, demon means anybody, multiple ways of interpreting demon. One who actually doesn't believe in Supreme Lord, or one who is not ready to follow, or not ready to become subservient to the Lord, actually, right? Who wants to go against the Lord, or go against the rules of material nature. They are all demoniac people. This is one way. The word asura, from a Sanskrit perspective, the asura means ra and asu, right? There are two words. So asu means the breathe life air. Life air is called asu, and ra means ramande. No? So one who wants to enjoy the life air, he is called asura. By definition, that is asura. So a person who is always trying to enjoy here, forgetting this, the supreme Lord, he can be called an asura, like that. So that way, everybody is an asura in today's world. So this is the technical meaning, and then yeah, the different ways of we can understand it. Okay, so this paragraph is complete now. Everything is clear.
Yes, Prabhuji.
We'll move to the next one. Here, any other point? What are the points here? Yeah, this is very important actually. This shloka. Somebody can tell what is the meaning and what is the essence.
here in the translation, it is mentioned that Lord Krishna, Supreme Lord Krishna, told Arjuna this science about the science of this Bhagavad Gita, because he is a very dear devotee and a friend. That is the reason Lord Krishna spoken the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna.
Yes. So
He has
what
given that
what can we
yes.
understand from this statement now? What you mentioned? What can we understand from this? If you go more deeper, no, Mataji or anybody else can also say. What is the implication of this statement? That okay, Krishna is saying that I am telling you this because you are my friend and you are my devotee.
Yes.
He's just saying like that. So what is that we interpreted, or no, not interpretation? What is that we have to understand from this really?
Prabhuji, that Arjuna will be able to put forward whatever view Arjuna puts forward will be the real view. The interpretation will be the real one because it is coming straight from Krishna. And Arjuna, being a great devotee, will not misinterpret. He will give it as it is, the words.
Yes. Okay.
That's
Yes,
what
Mataji.
it means.
Okay. Good. And somebody else was also saying, no? So,
Me, Prabhuji.
yes, Prabhu. Krishna, we're not able to hear you, Prabhu. Am I audible?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
I think he got Prabhuji, you are there? Yeah, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. I got disconnected. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Lord is saying that giving the relationship between the Supreme and the between us and the Supreme, Prabhuji.
And
telling the science.
one more thing is
yes, Mataji, please.
Yeah, okay. One more thing, what I can understand is Lord has telling to Arjuna, because Arjuna is his devotee, as it is mentioned, and friend. That is the reason he can understand the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Only the devotees are the mood to surrender. They can only understand whatever he is speaking about the Bhagavad Gita. And one more thing is who follows the path like Arjuna can be able to understand the Bhagavad Gita. Could
Yes,
be
no,
that way.
that is the point actually. Yes, Revati Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Basically, Arjuna accepted Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he saw Krishna as his, not only as his friend, but as the Lord, and that's the reason he accepted to continue in the war. And that's why Lord said that there won't be any, I think, any problem in that Gita commentary following by Arjuna. Actually, Arjuna is representing us, and he's asking all these questions, or these things are happening for us to understand the exact what to say, Prabhuji, that is missed, the ancient science that was missed in the in between, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Correct. Yeah. Anybody else want to add? Yeah. So there are a few important points. So already I think all of you have mentioned it. I'll just try to reiterate or summarize. Yeah. So one very important point is that as Mataji mentioned, right? The point is that Krishna is saying. So the point is that only somebody who is a devotee of the Lord, right, or a friend. Anyway, friend, I think, is ruled out. We cannot become friend of Krishna. So what is practical for all the people who are living now is that he can only become a bhakta, right? So, and it is mentioned rahasyam, and the top. This is the topmost knowledge, and it is a secret. Only a devotee can understand whatever the secret of Bhagavad Gita. That is what actually the essence of this. So from that context, we have to understand why Prabhupada is criticizing the other interpretations, right? So people who are see, unless and until the person who is interpreting Bhagavad Gita is translating Bhagavad Gita, if he's a devotee, there is actually that Bhagavad Gita doesn't have any value because they cannot understand the real rahasya in that. That is the essence of what we have to understand. That is why we say no other commentaries. So we have to ask who has written Bhagavad Gita. Is he a devotee of Krishna? Is he in a parampara? no, if he's no, the answer is no, then actually the Bhagavad Gita cannot reveal the secrets which are there in Bhagavad Gita. That is what, because it is directly coming from Krishna himself is saying. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, that I am telling you because you are my devotee, right? So unless and many places in Bhagavad Gita we can say Bhaktya Mam Abhijanadi, right? Krishna says, but only by devotional service you can understand me. Right? By no other process, no, not by dhyana, not by yajna, not by tapa, or not by any other process you can understand me. Only by unallowed devotional service, I am revealed actually. Bhaktya Mam Abhijanadi evam yashtasmi tattvada. Tado Mam tattvado gnatva vishadedanandaram. Krishna is saying that. In many places we can see that. So this sloka is also very important, Bhaktusi, because you are devotee, I am telling you this rahasya, you can understand it. Otherwise you cannot understand. So the point from this we can understand, if you are preaching to somebody, or if you are giving Bhagavad Gita, people will say, okay, I already have Bhagavad Gita, this Bhagavad Gita I have. So this point is this actually. His question is that unless until Bhagavad Gita is written by a pure devotee of Krishna, that Bhagavad Gita will not have the proper effect. It cannot reveal the secrets which are there in Bhagavad Gita essence. See, because people are reading Bhagavad Gita as a, today's people, you can see that Bhagavad Gita as a management lesson, like how to become peaceful, how to become self-control. So if you interpret Bhagavad Gita only to that level, of course it is beneficial for you, but that is not the ultimate benefit of Bhagavad Gita, right? The ultimate purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to understand that this material life is actually temporary. This is a temporary. There is no point in trying to become happy in this material world, right? Our original praise is Yadgatwana nivartante tadahama paramam mama, right? Once you go there, you never come back. Na tat bhashedo suryo, na shashango, na pavaga. Yadgatwana nivartante tadahama paramam. So that is the real purpose of understanding Bhagavad Gita. What is my original, ultimate destination? So if you just think Bhagavad Gita is just to make me peaceful or make me a good manager, then actually you are actually kind of what you call actually using a Mercedes car to carry garbage, right? Something like that. Bhagavad Gita of course can be used for that, but that is not the real purpose. So that is the point actually we have to understand, right? Understand that it comes from a devotee, we will not really get what is the essence of it or what is the ultimate purpose of it. That is why so many people read Bhagavad Gita and we see, like many people have Bhagavad Gita, almost everybody has Bhagavad Gita now. But is there any change in the heart? How the person's life is transformed, right? What is his benefit of having Bhagavad Gita, right? Most of the time we see that there is no benefit. They just read it or they don't read it, or even if they don't read it, we don't see any change in their heart which is happening. No transformation happening sometimes. Right, so that is what actually the point we have to understand here. Okay, any question, devotees? Okay, so if there are no questions, then I think we are we have come to the almost end of the session. We will read the preaching in the essence and then we will wind up the session.